talk about the complicated sections on Chopin's Nocturne, Opus 55, number 1. So it's the tune that goes. So it's a great tune. So the big challenge on the A section is the trills. So comes up 4 times. On the first one I would do maybe a 4-noter, maybe 6. And I would just have the flexibility to do either or. Now every single time it comes up it's a little different. So the second time the trill comes up it goes the third time the ending goes, and then the fourth time the ending goes like that. So that's the first thing I would work out. I'd be really good at my trill and I would really know the differences. Okay, B section, not a whole lot that's really complicated there. It's still a great section. The C section, something to work on there is the left hand. Being really clear on those runs. So I'd really work out my left hand on the C section especially. The D section is quite dense. So the way I'd work on this one is I would know it's 8 bars. I would know that it's a 4-bar idea that gets transposed literally. And here's how the chords work. So it goes E diminished 7, then it goes F minor, and then F minor and inversion. G minor 7 flat 5, C7. That's a 2-5 classic chord progression. Then A flat major 7. So when I get to this spot, the G is in the right hand, and then the left hand matches it with the arpeggio. It has a G as well. Then the left hand has F octave, or the right hand has an F octave, and the left hand matches it with an F in there as well. So that's how I kind of keep all that straight, and then I do everything up a 4th on A diminished 7. That goes to B flat minor, and then the inversion. Just like before, C minor 7 flat 5, F7, and then D flat major 7, and then it has the B flat in it when the B flat's in the melody. So the hands match. When C is in the sonority, C is in the arpeggio. When B flat's in the sonority, B flat's in the left hand arpeggio. So that's how I work out the D section. Next, the run is pretty fun. I make a note of every time it switches and changes direction. So there are 4 of them. It goes E, F, G, B flat, E, F, and C, D flat. So I practice the first one, then I practice the second one, which is the trickiest one. Then I do the third one, and then the fourth one, and basically there are only a couple of notes left. But I think that's a really great way to work on that challenging passage. The next one's probably my favorite. It's pretty hard. I think this is the hardest part of the piece. So you got 3 big issues here. You 1, have to memorize it, which is hard to do. 2, you got to get it even, and then 3, you got to do the accelerando. So it's marked with molto, legato, stretto, and that stretto part, that means when to speed up a passage. So if you listen to like a Rubinstein play it, or a lot of other people play it, they all speed it up and they turn the 8-bar section into one long accelerando, and that's really tough to do. You really have to know the notes well. So on the memorization front, the hard part for me is the C minor 7 part. So that comes up right here. So C minor 7 is the harmony. It has 2 tops on the triplet. So top, and then top again, and then it turns around and does 2 bottoms. Okay, so that's not too bad, but it's hard. And then when it comes up again on the same C minor 7 at the same spot in the progression, it goes 2 bottoms. Now you remember before it was 2 tops. So the pattern is flipped around, and then after 2 bottoms, it does 2 tops this time. And then it finishes off. So again, when you get to the C minor, you have 2 tops, but then you have 2 bottoms. And then later on, you get 2 bottoms, but then 2 tops. And it's really a tricky pattern to memorize. Then you got to get it all even, all the way through the passage. And then from there, you have to learn how to do your accelerando. So I would do it in that order, and I'm still working on it myself. But I think that's the hardest spot of this piece. On the last page, my bit of advice would be on the closing part. So you do 6 of these. And I can almost do it in my right hand, but I feel like it's not very clean and clear. So I'm messing around with the idea of taking the 6 notes and assigning a different finger for each of them. So I'm thinking about going left hand on the F, then right hand on the next 3, and then left hand 2 on the G, and left hand 3 on the A. It's a little hard to keep straight, but I just started it. But you hear how it feels like it's going to be a little bit cleaner than keeping all of it in the right hand and trying to have a nice loose wrist. So I think that's going to really help on the closing section. So anyway, I hope all this helps on the complicated passages on the F minor Nocturne. Okay.